To defeat an enemy, you must know them. Not just their battle tactics, but their history, philosophy, art. Welcome to the Chiss Ascendancy podcast.
Alrighty. Let's just jump in. Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to
The Chiss Ascendancy.
episode 46.
46. Crazy.
We're talking about bounty hunters.
Bounty hunters. Yeah.
And we need their scum, as you can see in the subtitle.
Those empires didn't know what was up. Empires, I guess Imperials is the word
Yeah.
for them.
It was cool because today we were, you sent me that meme about 100, 200, 300. You guys are going to make me rich. So I was looking up, I was like, man, I can't remember if that was Django or Boba from the old Battlefront 2. So I was doing some research, and I stumbled across a black hole of Battlefront dialogue that I watched for like 30 minutes. And one of the cool ones was Darth Vader says, "Do not underestimate the Empire." And Boba says, "Then why did they bring in hunters?"
Nice.
It's just cool. He's such a smack talker. Today we're talking about bounty hunters. And so, because we're trying to keep this under 2 hours, we've got a little list, a little rubric.
I saw a meme. Mm-hmm. So it's going to bleed over a little bit from the episode about this most recent Mando episode. But right. I saw one, it was like, watch out for those knee rockets. I call out to Battlefront.
That's funny.
It's pretty funny.
Okay, so 5 different topics we're touching on with bounty hunters.
Right.
Number 1, why are they so cool? What we like about them? Just kind of joking around.
I was like, how cool are they? And I just wrote my notes. Very
cool.
Very cool.
Number 2, the origins. Not origin stories of the bounty hunters, but where they come from.
Yes.
In Star Wars timeline.
We would need multiple episodes.
It'd be here forever.
Yeah.
Number 3, the original 6. Giving a little shout out to the original 6 bounty hunters from Star Wars universe. Number 4, the host favorites. I'm sure you can guess mine. And then number 5, the greatest. Or greats.
Yeah.
The Mount Rushmore. That's what we should do. We've got, we could name probably 8 right off the bat. We should narrow down to, if you had a Mount Rushmore of bounty hunters, what would it be?
So that's 4.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it at 4.
Mm-hmm. I know. I have like 6 or 7 right here.
Okay,
but we'll get there when we get there. Don't think about it beforehand because it needs to be...
I'm thinking about it already.
No. Let's stop. It needs to be genuine.
It is going to be genuine. I'm ready.
Okay, here we go. So, why are bounty hunters so cool?
I think it's just the mystique.
It's the mystique. I think that it's also because everybody who is in the world that we're in, as you're watching Star Wars, as you're watching The Empire Strikes Back in 1980, you're looking at it and you're thinking, I don't want to work for the Empire.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but I don't know if I'm brave enough to be a rebel, so I guess I'm just going to be this person that's just putting these power converters together and sending them to Tashi Station. It's like you don't want to be, you're a cog, everybody has their place, and that's just the way the real world works. Yeah. And the bounty hunters are cool because they're their whole own system. They don't really answer anybody.
And I don't know. I think it's not just in Star Wars either.
Yeah.
I mean, I've watched a ton of episodes of Dog the Bounty Hunter, probably all of them.
The only thing I don't like about Dog is he's like, doesn't believe in guns.
Yeah, but he gets paintball guns with mace in the bullets. Did you know that?
That's almost worse.
Yeah, I would rather I would just rather be shot.
Just kill me.
Because getting shot with a paintball is bad enough, but it's got freaking mace in there.
Mm-hmm. Dude, imagine you're like in the middle of like a curse word towards Dog or whoever, and they shoot you, and a freaking, just by happenstance,
in the mouth?
A freaking paintball full of mace just goes directly into your mouth.
Oh, yeah, I'd rather just be shot. I'd rather that be a real bullet.
Do you remember the time that I accidentally set off mace?
Yes, I do.
When we were kids, we had a Suburban. That was the vehicle we had for forever.
And it's Mom's fault, really, because...
Go wait in the car. I'll be there in a sec.
It had been like at least 20 minutes.
Oh, at least 20 minutes. So I'm like, all right.
What's in the glove compartment?
What's in the glove box? What's in the glove box? So I opened it up,
man?
And I was like, maybe there's a honey bun in here to survive. I'm just saying, what if there's a snack without having to walk all the way back in the house? So I'm looking, and there was I thought that it was a air horn.
It was not.
And it wasn't. It was mace.
Pepper spray.
It was pepper spray.
Pepper spray.
Me with pepper spray. What's that from?
The Grinch.
It is a Grinch?
The most quotable movie of all time, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I stand by that. Anyway, they're just super cool.
They are cool.
They're super cool. I think it's cool because they just have a place everywhere. You know what I mean? They're working for whoever. They're making money, doing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. They all got their side gigs.
They're super, like, when you're watching a movie, everyone loves the John Wick character. Everyone loves, John McClane from Die Hard. Everybody loves Neo from The Matrix. Like, all those people.
They're just going to keep naming John characters. John Wayne, Johnny Cash, John Denver.
The Baptist.
John Lennon.
Everybody loves John. But everybody loves that character that can just go off, and that's Bounty Hunters.
John was the beloved.
Yeah. He also outran Peter to the tomb. It was funny
the Moses
because...
of the New Testament. Giving himself props all the way.
The most humble man. Is that okay? I did like how... I think one of the coolest things is they don't give a crap about whoever they're around. Yeah. They're not afraid of anybody. When Han Solo, he'll mouth off to an Imperial to a certain extent, but then there's sometimes that he's like just going to keep his cool because he's trying to get out of a sticky situation. Yeah. Bounty hunters have no regard for anybody. Nope. So you have, right from the beginning where it's bounty hunters. We don't need their scum. Mm-hmm. And you look up and you got toes there. Yeah. And Bosk is just freaking from the get-go.
Yeah, I'd be terrified.
Yeah. Remember that video I sent you about that crocodile that ate that cheetah?
Yeah, it was crazy.
Imagine if you saw these toes on the bridge of a Star Destroyer and you were like, we don't need this, guys. And you look up and that freaking crocodile's looking down at you. Because that's basically what you're dealing with.
Yeah, you had an actual nightmare like that one time, didn't you?
What, of a crocodile killing me?
Crocodile floating over you?
No, that's Carmen. But I was afraid of alligators. Yeah, I am terrified of alligators.
All right. So where do we first encounter the bounty hunters?
All right. So bounty hunters, specifically Boba Fett, first came on the scene during the Star Wars Holiday Special, everyone's favorite Star Wars movie. So the Holiday Special was freaking wild. If you haven't seen the Holiday Special, even if you don't care to watch it, just watch it because it's full of gold. And you get Art Carney, who is freaking Ed Norton from the original Honeymooners. He's there, and I don't remember what the freak he's doing, but imagine Norton from the Honeymooners. He's like, you want to... he's old at this point, right? Yeah. And he's selling something. I can't remember what it is, but he's basically just Norton. He's like, oh, you want a spatula? It's just like the craziest crap. You get to meet Chewie's family, and then in the middle of the whole thing, there's a cartoon. So part of the cartoon is, I think Luke gets stuck in some kind of swamp or something, and Boba Fett rides up on this pink dinosaur. It's like a pink plesiosaurus, and he actually has a gun very, very similar to the Mandalorian's, pulse rifle, and the animal he's riding keeps doing this thing, like wilding out with its neck, and dude, multiple times, this would not be kosher in like today's media, but multiple times he takes the rifle and he goes, settle down. So he's like hitting the freak out of this. When we start the episode every week, we start the camera, and then we sit down, and Samuel does like this and holds up his finger, and then he hits play for the ding, 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 and then I clap real loud, and that's how we know where the episode starts. And about that loud is how the smack is on that pink dinosaur, dude. He's got it, and he's just waving the freaking rifle around. He's like, whoosh, settle down. And so he's like, hello, friend, I can help you. My name is Boba Fett. And he's actually got the Holiday Special armor on. And so Boba's, whenever they first were talking about the prototype of Boba Fett, he was all white. Mm-hmm. And he had Ralph McQuarrie drew him with a cool brown poncho. And the cool thing
he's supposed to be like a Western character from the get.
Right. Well, Ralph McQuarrie said, I took a lot of inspiration from Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name, from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So that's where Boba kind of came from.
If you're looking for more media to consume, that trilogy is excellent.
Mm-hmm. And so that's what Boba kind of looked like. And then they ended up changing the armor a little bit. And then you got the T-shaped visor. And then finally he walked in a parade next to Darth Vader in California. And they said it was like 1 billion degrees. And that poor guy was just in a full suit of armor walking next to Vader. And it was cool because the guy that wore that armor, you can tell when you're as deep in the Star Wars game as we are. I was like, that's not the real guy. You can just tell by the body shape.
Yeah.
And so he shows up in the holiday special, and his helmet is more of like a silvery blue. The chest plate is more like a pastel yellow, and it's just a really cool colorway that they ended up making the 3 3/4 inch figures. They made it a toy of him in that colorway, and then whenever he showed up in Empire was his first live action thing. It was pretty cool because leading up to the origins, first we had Boba Fett in the holiday special, and then finally on screen in 1980 we had the bounty hunter scene, and that kind of takes us to our third segment, which is
the original 6.
Yep.
So
some love for the original 6.
Right off the top, we got IG-88, the droid, the other droid, Forlom. He looks kind of like Zero with the insectoid eyes.
Yeah, big bulbous eyes.
We have Boba, we got Bosk, we got Dengar, and then Zuckuss.
Yeah. So the weird thing about bounty hunters is some of them work really well together and for a long period of time. But that's the rarity. Like typically it's everybody for themselves. It's not very often that you see people working together and they trust one another. So Forlom and Zuckuss, pretty cool story. When the toys for those released, they had the names messed up. So Forlom was Zuckuss, the shorter, stockier one, and Zuckuss was on Forlom's packaging. And so there's been a freaking argument about that ever since. Yeah. So Forlom is a droid, and Zuckuss is actually, even though he looks pretty similar to Forlom, he's actually an insectoid species called the Gran, Gran, and I think it's 2 N's. And it's funny because...
The Gran are the ones with the 3 eye stalks.
Are you sure? Mm-hmm. Oh my god. All right, keep going.
Like, I'm like 90% on that. Where do you want me to pick up at?
Just describing the people. So you have Forlom, Zuckuss,
yeah,
and then
so
IG.
Then you got IG-88. It's an IG unit, so it's going to be pretty much identical to IG-11 from the Mando series. Mm-hmm. They've got the cylindrical heads and the multi-jointed arms, and they can look at everywhere at once, which it's just a very cool feature that they would think of something like that. We got Dengar, who is the king of the toilet paper game. He would have killed it in 2020. He would have not been out of toilet paper for his life.
Gand. That's the species. G-A-N-D. I'm sorry. Yeah, Dengar is crazy because he's got that outfit. And in Legends, do you know the story of why he has all those bandages on?
Something Boba Fett did to him, right?
Nope.
No, I don't remember that.
He was a famous Corellian street racer, and he's at the top of his game until some young buck came along named Han Solo, and they raced for all the chips, and Han Solo outmaneuvered him, and I think Dengar ended up crashing and got really injured, and that's why he has all those bandages, and that's why he hates Han Solo.
What's funny is that in canon, he's still from Corellia.
Yeah, still Corellian.
And it's funny because it's just further convoluting the waters of what the Corellian accent is.
Yeah.
We got Han Solo, who's like, I don't know, almost transatlantic swagger. We got...
what does that... Give us an example.
Listen here, see? You know what I mean, though? It's just like...
We're going to go down to the boardwalk.
He's just,
play a little poker.
He's just doing his thing.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even saying words. You don't know what the Worcestershire
sauce.
Oh, we're going to get some left water.
Now, don't forget, if you're not feeling good, take some of this here cocaine.
And last year, we got on that fire ferret.
Ah, yes.
I don't know why I stopped saying words.
Recently, on the Legend of Korra.
I can't think as fast as they talk. They're like the original Ben Shapiro.
Now, the good thing is, I've got some mustache wax here, and I'll curl my mustache. Real fancy like. Yeah.
And then we got what's the general from Corellia?
The general?
Bel Iblis.
Oh, yeah.
Who is, he's like a
redneck.
Yeah, he's almost got a...
Garn Bel Iblis.
He's almost got a what's Rail?
Avaros.
Avaros's last.
Yeah, but he's like Rail if Rail spent 6 months in Nebraska. Now, my name's Rail, and would you like a piece of corn?
Can't offer you much else now.
Garn Bel Iblis is a human version of Foghorn Leghorn, if you're a Looney Tunes fan.
Now
listen here, see?
I said.
Where'd he go? That's Yosemite Sam. But then you have, so I don't know, I guess it makes sense that there are different regions of Corellia, but if that's really the only time in Star Wars that the dialect changes within the own,
and then
it's world
Dengar, who has like the Australian accent, maybe like a South African accent.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah. I don't know what the freak they're doing out there, man.
Yeah.
I'm not teaching English.
In the certain point of view episode or story between IG-88 and Dengar, IG-88 wonders if Dengar can talk more properly. Why doesn't he?
Yeah. It's funny because he like computes it as a weakness somehow. I don't know.
Yeah,
racist.
I guess he thinks that if he talks better, I mean, it's basically, he's basically just giving him the My Fair Lady approach.
Yeah. All right.
You'll find more suitors.
All right, now shove these marbles in your mouth and then try to talk. I'll cure you, see?
Yeah, that was so dumb.
Yeah, I don't know what that...
What a perv. Rex Harrison, I think the actor's name is. He's like, now I've got an idea for a scene. They weren't going to tell him no. He was a superstar.
And then the other British actor's like, yes.
Oh my God.
Like
Hollywood in the 60s and 70s, man.
Oh my God.
All now, right, what if we just had some kind of a random fornication happening? That interest you?
But listen, we draw a line where we don't let them cuss.
Dude, that's so funny.
Yeah, I think it's funny they let... I wanted to say Julie Andrews. I know it's not her. What the frick's her name?
Audrey Hepburn?
Audrey Hepburn, thank you. They let her cuss at the races, and then they had the guy that also played Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, I could have told you if you weren't asking.
Yeah. Anyway, they cut him off from cussing.
Jeremy something.
Yeah, I want to say Jeremy Irons, but I know it's that. That's not it. It's Jeremy something. Anyway.
It's not Jeremy Renner either.
Duh.
And Jeremy Bullock is the guy that does play Star Wars.
Anyway, it's not important. I just think it's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, very interesting concept.
And then who we got left? We got Bosk. Everybody knows Bosk.
The cool thing about Bosk is Bosk was one of those guys that was... he was kind of Captain Phasma before Captain Phasma. He was like heavily in the advertisements. And then went...
I think it's cool that that he's such a selling point. You know what I mean? That his species is so cool that he's probably like one of the most prominent creatures that we get from Empire. I mean, I guess we had the Wampa, but those were written in because of Mark Hamill's accidents.
Right.
We had, I don't know how original the Tauntauns were, the script, or if they were brought in to kind of segue into the Wampa thing.
I find it hard to believe that they were going to be on Hoth regardless.
Right, there was going to be some sort of creature out there.
But the interesting thing is, think about that. Besides Chewbacca and maybe Yoda, Bosk kind of opened up folks to his species more than any other character.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's others I'm forgetting.
I also like how much, now through a certain point of view, his backstory has kind of stayed the same.
Yeah.
As far as his origins. I think that's really cool.
Yeah. His name being the Dosh it's cool because when you speak English and you hear of a word and it's like, this word actually means this whole phrase. It's cool. It's kind of like that from basic to Dosh. Like, his name's just Bosk, but it's like this whole freaking sentence in the other language. But yeah, Bosk is really cool. And then Boba Fett is obviously the star of the show in that specific group. And it's really cool to see how the dynamic has changed over the years. in the Bounty Hunter Wars that came out in the 90s, IG wasn't really in it, and Forlom wasn't really in it, but Dengar, Boba, Bosk, and Zuckuss were kind of the major players. Mm-hmm. There's one part where Bosk hires Zuckuss to help him kill Boba Fett, and then Boba Fett goes behind Bosk's back and pays Zuckuss more to double cross Bosk.
The only winner here is Zuckuss, bro.
And when the time comes, Boba Fett double crosses Zuckuss and jettisons him in an escape pod with Bosk and steals the ship. I think he steals. They're aboard the Houndstooth, which is Bosk's ship.
Yeah, that's super funny.
And so as they leave, I'm like, dang, it's a bad day to be Zuckuss, because you thought you were getting double paid and you get neither one. And now you're stuck in a small space with this giant reptile who's pissed.
Yeah, and he's going to get hungry.
Yeah. And he has no loyalty to anybody, obviously.
Yeah, not even his own family.
So the original 6 really opened things up. Boba Fett was such a selling point for years to come. Bosk, I feel like Bosk really made his emergence during the Clone Wars cartoon.
Before I had alternatives, he was my favorite bounty hunter. I loved Bosk.
Yeah, Bosk was very cool.
Someone else came along and stole my heart, but I still love Bosk.
I always thought Dengar was cool, and I thought it was cool how, in a certain point of view, it talks about how he covers his face. Mm-hmm. Like he has the wrap, but he's got like a an extra
bandana
little
for robbing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So
not that his wearing that all the time would have made him identifiable anyway.
Dude, yeah, it's so funny.
He looked like the friggin' sandbenders from Avatar. You walk around, you're gonna get noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, he looked just like the bounty hunter Dengar, but he also had something covering his nose. So that wasn't him.
All right, so we can go ahead and check Dengar off the list.
Yeah. Dude, what if he was
like crime scenes before they had DNA evidence? He's like, we found this pool of blood. He's like, gross. Mop it up. Now back to my hunch.
They're at the police station and they're like, no, it can't be him. He had something over his face. And Dengar goes to it just knows, and they're like, there he is.
What'd you do with Uncle Slim?
That's where I was going with it.
Put your dukes up, Mr. Fancy Britches.
It's still me. This is my...
What did you do with Uncle Slim?
This is my comfy place.
But Uncle Slim, this is my comfy place.
Have you been sitting in that exact same spot, blocking that choice piece of property from my view?
Uncle Slim.
If you haven't seen Home on the Range,
you need to.
Now's the time.
It's a freaking classic, dude.
Of the original 6, rank them.
As far as successfulness?
Would you prefer to rank them your most to least favorite, or your deadliest to least deadliest?
Yeah, I'll rank them in order of I would not want to fight you to I think I stand an okay chance.
Okay, Zuckuss is last. Go ahead.
I'm going to put Boba at first. I'm going to put Bosk at second.
Ooh.
IG-88, Dengar, Forlom, Zuckuss.
Okay. Exact same for me. I want to say that IG, it could definitely be second.
Yeah, I think Bosk is going to say second. I think IG-88 and Dengar could flip-flop depending on the terrain.
Yeah.
Because they kind of have strengths, as we saw from a certain point of view, that, one of them, they might have the advantage at any given time.
Yeah, they in that certain point of view, there's a moment where...
As far as, ready preparedness right now we could fight, I would definitely want to fight Dengar before IG-88, because he's literally a walking weapon.
Right. Well, he's a walking weapon, and there's not really any catching him off guard.
Right.
You can catch Dengar off guard. But if they're hunting for
Dengar.
If they're hunting me, I think I would be more worried about Dengar, because I feel like he's got the connections. That's one of the things you don't think about, is that IG-88 doesn't make any connections. Mm-hmm. In that story, he's literally like, I like enemies.
Yeah.
So I would say Boba.
That was cool.
Boba is that was cool. Boba's the deadliest because he's the smartest and he's the craftiest and he's got the Mandalorian armor. He's got the second most weaponry in that group. Obviously, IG-88 is like a walking Swiss Army knife of weapons. Bosk is the most ferocious for sure. And even if you catch him butt naked, dead to rights in the shower, he's got shark teeth for hands.
Yeah.
And regular teeth for teeth. And toes.
Yeah, I was about to say, not to mention the toes.
Not to mention the toes.
He's ready to climb a mountain at any given time.
I was watching that episode.
He would be a heck of a mountaineer. Nobody gives him enough credit for that.
He would, and he's lanky.
Yeah.
I was watching that episode of the
strong.
Clone Wars yesterday where Ventress joins Boba's crew, and there's a part where Bosk takes on like 5 dudes
in that bar fight.
No, they're on the train.
Oh yes.
And right off the bat, they put like it looks like pepper spray or something, and he's like, and he just starts swiping at folks, and I was like, ha ha, because dude, if he caught you with one of those bad boys, you'd be done. But they ended up stunning him. The exact
opposite of a T-Rex.
Yeah, exactly. They ended up like stunning him or something and kicking him off the ship, and he kind of rolls, and then he catches himself.
Yeah,
with his he puts on the old claw brakes.
I like how we can't say what he's doing with his hands without going like this.
Yeah, like that. And so he puts his claws into the ground, and he was mad, right?
Yeah.
And he goes and like shakes, and I was like, ooh, I like that part a lot.
Ooh, he's upset.
Yeah. And then my 3-year-old son Wolf turned around and went. So that was cool. Right. I would rank them the same because IG-88's definitely got the most weapons. Dengar is sneaky deadly.
Yeah, and depending on what time in the timeline you catch him, right? Because
before or after he finds out about the Philly cheesesteaks.
Well, we were talking about this beforehand, but he's, I think, the only bounty hunter that we for sure see in the sequel films. I mean, it's not for sure, but if you look at the visual dictionary, they're like, Dengar Day?
Look, if I had to choose it and Rothgar is on the list, he's dead last because that guy looked like he had been held in a swirly for so long that all the hair came off, and he was just a shiny egg.
No. Listen, he's got compensations in the form of being the most Star Wars character like that one cyborg from Treasure Planet. All right.
Oh my God, get out of here, bro. Oh my God, you and Treasure Planet. Okay,
that's a great film.
It is good. All right, so the fourth segment...
While you're looking at Home on the Range, also look up Treasure Planet if you haven't seen it.
They're both on Disney Plus.
I made my students watch Treasure Planet, and they're all adults.
Did they like it?
Yeah, they loved it. I was like, I'm going to work on this thing. You guys sit and watch Treasure Planet and don't make a fuss.
All right, fourth segment, host favorites. You go first.
Okay, if you've been keeping track at all, my favorite will be slightly less predictable than Josiah's. In the shape of coolest helmet. It's cool.
It's not even a helmet.
Yeah, that's what's so cool about it. All right, let's talk about this. Could Boba Fett ride his helmet down a hill like a snowboard? I rest my case.
If he had to, yes.
No, he couldn't. We got Imbo coming up in first place. Bonus, he comes with a space dog. So
it's true.
And a Nuba, which it's like a veiled, like thinly veiled reference to Anubis, the god of mummification. So he should be Dengar's sidekick, but
that's pretty funny.
That was a deep cut joke. Anyway, I think Imbo's super freaking cool.
He is cool.
He's Dave Filoni's favorite bounty hunter, so I'm not in bad company there.
Very true.
I just like the strong and silent type. I think that's a very cool character. He does cool spinny flips using his helmet as a shield. He doubles as a weapon.
He has throwing knives.
Yeah, he's just freaking cool, dude.
He is cool. He
I like how nobody wants to be on his bad side. He
seems really to have a I think he follows a certain code.
Yeah. He seems to have an internalized moral code, but at the same time, nobody's giving him fuss and nobody's really wanting to go to bat with him, you know what I mean? I think we see in the Box episode that he's like the third ranked bounty hunter at the time, with Cad Bane being the first, obviously.
Who's second, Bosk?
I don't know. Maybe him, or I don't know if Cara Dune had been killed yet.
Cara Dune?
No, sorry.
Aurra Sing?
Aurra Sing.
Nice.
You knew who I was talking about.
Yeah.
Will this suffice?
You know, what was crazy was when her figure came out in episode 1, it came with a lightsaber.
Did it come with a collapsible antenna like a cell phone?
The antenna was not collapsible. Nor you could remove it for a car wash. Or it's like...
like the antenna's going to be a problem in a car wash?
Doesn't her antenna get cut off at some point?
Yes, Ahsoka cuts it off.
Oh.
Pretty ballin'.
Because it's not natural. It's a dadgum.
Yeah,
it's a built-in antenna.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So where the freak is that signal going? Her teeth?
To the brain?
That's dumb. I know it's going
Where
to the
else
brain.
is it gonna go?
What I'm saying
It's
is
in the head.
that's so. So you just have. So you think a text message out?
Yeah, I think she uses it to like intercept comms and stuff like that.
That would be so distracting.
She can collapse the antenna.
You're in the movie and you're like, stop!
You ever watch Alphas? It's a TV show about people with like superpowers, and there's a kid that I think he's like high functioning autistic, but his superpowers he can like intercept cell phone waves and stuff like that. And he sees them like.
It would be funny if they made Michael Jackson
like
play
beams of
Aura
light.
sing, and he turned around and he said, "I can hear your prayers."
Yeah, that'd be funny. Anyway, let's talk about your
I'm
favorite.
sorry. That joke wasn't funny, but I was thinking about it for the last 45 seconds. I had to get out of my brain. All right. My Boba Fett. I mean...
Tell us how you really feel, Josiah. Boba Fett, my Boba Fett.
My favorite... My favorite is obviously Boba Fett. Wow.
My Boba Fett.
I'm tired.
You're freaking your own son, dude.
My word.
My Boba Fett.
He's my friend.
The lizard was my friend. He'll never live.
What a
that down.
ween. But yeah, Boba Fett has been my favorite for my entire life. And reasons why, he's the best.
Let's talk. Well, we can't talk about it. If you want to see our full thoughts on Boba Fett, examine the review episode of this most recent episode of The Mandalorian, which would be The Tragedy, in parentheses, of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Dude, what if?
It's like, don't you, in parentheses, forget about me.
Yeah. Yeah, so Boba Fett's my favorite. And obviously, if you watched I think it's the review of the first episode of this season, I talk
Where
about
we
how
get
important
confirmed Boba Fett.
how important it was to me that he came back in my life story.
Yeah, in great detail.
But I would say that even in Legends, he just does some really, really
Very
cool stuff. In the Bounty Hunter Wars. Eventually, we're going to do an episode about the Bounty Hunter Wars, just covering that trilogy, because it's so funny.
I would like to see if we can get a guest appearance for the guy that does the review of Outbound Flight. Because
it's a good book.
Then my life would be complete. We need to get in touch with that guy.
You really want to? Okay, I'll do it. If I can get in touch
Even
with
if we
Mark
can just
Thompson,
get a Skype call.
if I can get in touch with Mark Thompson in Lucasfilm, I can get in touch with whatever that guy's name is.
We're gonna find out.
The funny part about the guy's name, I can't remember what his first part of his name is, but the last part of his handle is comedy. It's like Samuel Greer comedy. So he fancies himself a funny guy. But Boba Fett,
Don't worry, I'm not bragging. What's the brag about?
he's just a legend, and I love how when
He
he
is in
walks
Legends.
when he walks into the room, like everybody knows what the freaking business is. He's got the greatest helmet. It's the greatest bounty hunter helmet, and I just love everything about him. And I love Tamura Morrison being back.
That was so cool.
And man, I just want to go off on all the things I love about
Save it, hold
him.
it in.
But I will say that specifically, like from Legends, there's a moment where Jason Solo goes bad, right?
Yep.
And Jaina's the only person that can really match him because they're twins. Like they kind of play that card in the books. And
Yeah, that old card.
And the typical twins, you know how it works.
You activated my trap card. You know that one.
Twins. But so it's cool because Boba Fett.
If you didn't know it, you have a fraternal twin sister.
Boba Fett
Super powerful.
basically says,
The ultimate super weapon.
all right, here we go. I didn't do that to you. Basically, Boba Fett.
You know that old card.
Jaina Solo goes to Boba Fett and is like, "You're the only one that can teach me," and he's like, "You sure you want to do this?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Because if we do this, I am gonna teach you how to kill your brother."
Yeah, the old Kung Fu Panda move.
And it was cool because
You will leave the Dragon Warrior.
Jason Solo had done something that was upsetting to Boba Fett earlier in the series, and they were like, Jaina said, "You're not going to kill me," and he said, "What would make you think that? Or what would make you think that?"
Right.
And she says, to get back at my
ding dong.
Yeah, exactly. To get back at my parents, it would hurt my parents.
Yeah.
If that happened to me, and he said, it's something along the lines of, it's much richer to teach you to kill your brother. That is a much richer effect between me and Solo than...
Yeah, now do you want to fight over this dumpling?
Yeah, exactly. But he's just a cool character, and he's...
dumpling, also known as the ravioli of the Orient.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. But one of the coolest things is he does have a bit of a moral code, more than people give him credit for. And there's a moment where there's a character named Finn Scheisse. That's his name.
That's the S word in German, by the way.
That's what it is. So, but he was basically a Mandalorian protector, and his dying wish is that Boba Fett would lay down his career and become the Mandalore, the leader of the Mandalorians.
Right.
And so, for the average fan that doesn't know all that, they don't understand, like, why do you like Boba Fett? He doesn't do anything. He just has cool armor. But I have all this wealth of stories of... He laid down his arms. He kept Mandalore alive and kept all their people safe for the most part during the Yuuzhan Vong War.
So does that mean you want Boba Fett to kill Bo-Katan and take the Darksaber and become the Mandalore?
I would love nothing more. But there you have it.
You would love nothing more as...
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, if Boba Fett killed Bo-Katan, I would not care at all. I would miss Bo-Katan in the slightest.
Me neither.
If I had to choose.
All right.
The Greats.
The Mount Rushmore.
If you had to have 4 bounty hunters on your Mount Rushmore, who are they and why?
I'm going to start with saying Jango Fett, because through Jango Fett we have Boba Fett, and I have a twofer up there. So that I have 3 new slots.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll allow it. Just because I want to have more bounty hunter talk.
Cad Bane makes it up there.
Yeah. Cad Bane.
He's bad to the bone. He's Cad to the bone.
Yeah, bad.
Cad to the Bane.
Yeah, Cad Bane is an amazing, amazing bounty hunter.
Yeah, he's freaking sick. He's got a thing for hats. I like that. He's the embodiment of the Western bounty hunter. I like that.
And he has rockets on his boots.
He's got rocket boots like Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy.
But way cooler.
Yeah. I'm going to put Bosk up there.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to put Imbo up there because it's my Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Okay, we'll go on from there. All right. Let's see. My 4.
Do you have a question?
No. After this, I'd like to do honorable mentions of bounty hunters that don't get that much love. Okay. Oh, my God. Okay. My Mount Rushmore, so I can do Jango Fett, Boba Fett 2 for 1.
That's what I did, but it's going to be cheap if you do it.
Boba Fett, number 1. He gets the biggest spot, and I let him pick which slot he wants on the mountain.
All right, Boba, this is my mountain. Pick your spot.
Okay.
You ever think about Richie Rich?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
They had Mount Richmore.
Mm-hmm.
With the vault in the nose.
Pretty crazy.
I thought about that a lot.
Okay, so Boba Fett's my first one. God, I don't want to copy you.
Don't.
Okay. Boba Fett, number 1. Steady hand.
With the heart of surgeon. Number 1. Steady hand.
Bosk.
Okay, so you've copied me so far. That's okay.
There's only so many. Crap. Okay. Cad Bane's got to be up there. Let's see.
I expect you to put more thought into this previous.
Well, I did. But you basically picked the 4 I was going to pick, plus Imbo.
So...
Okay. Here, I'll switch it up here.
Okay.
So I'll Boba and Jango are a package deal.
Mm-hmm.
So that leaves me 3 slots. Same as you. Bosk. Cad Bane.
Okay.
And Cade Skywalker from the Legends.
Weak.
It's not weak. He's dope.
I'm just saying he's not canon.
And then in canon...
Why don't you go ahead and put Kylo Ren up there? How about that?
What? Doesn't make any sense. Okay,
exactly.
In canon, I will take... Man...
I expected your...
Ooh, you know who was really cool? But he's not on this list.
The chick with the scarf?
Who?
The pink girl that had the scarf that she uses as a weapon?
No.
There was that one droid, I forget his name. He was on that team. He was very cool.
Heisinger.
Yeah, he was cool.
Heisinger's very cool. I will see your Embo and raise you Dengar.
Ah, Embo's cooler.
I like Dengar better.
Who's going to survive a headshot?
The guy that already has like 6 inches of toilet paper on his head. So yeah, Cade Skywalker, if we're including Legends characters. If we're not, I'll take Dengar just because I don't want to copy you person for person.
I expected your mountain to be every incarnation of Boba that we have so far. So like embryonic
Oh
Boba
my god, I'm retarded.
that we have.
Hang on.
Episode 2, and
I will
take
take
Boba that we also have from episode 2.
I'll leave Dengar and I'll put Din Djarin, the Mandalorian.
And then Boba, who we have from Empire and Jedi, and then old Boba that we just got from the Mandalorian. I expected that to be your Mount Rushmore.
If I could, I would, yes. So Boba and Jango are a package deal. Bosk, Cad Bane, and the Mandalorian Din Djarin.
Yeah, Din Djarin's a good pick.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking from Empire, basically. Yeah, Din Djarin's one of my favorites. He's not better than Boba Fett, but he's up there. Okay.
Who do you think wins in a fight, Din Djarin, Cad Bane?
Oh, man. Cad Bane. What do you think?
I don't know. Maybe Din Djarin just because the armor. Cad Bane's craftier.
Yeah.
And his ship is still in one piece.
Well, I hope you've seen the episode. Have you... to me, Din Djarin versus Cad Bane depends on the location.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you're in, like, Coruscant, Cad Bane wins 10 times out of 10. I mean, not 10 times, but, like, it's 8 times out of 10 because he's just sneakier. But I think, like, we haven't really seen Din Djarin in a city, really.
Well, and...
think about that.
I think Cad Bane might be the better fighter, straight up.
Like fist fighter?
Just tactician.
Maybe.
Because I really don't think that Din Djarin would have stood that much of a chance versus Quinlan Vos and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Cad Bane takes both of them on and gets away. That's not an easy feat. That's 2 Master Jedis.
I really wish that we, and it might still happen, but I would love to see Din Djarin use his jetpack like in fighting. Mm-hmm. We've seen him like take off and stuff. Mm-hmm. But remember how sick it was when Attack of the Clones was going on and Jango Fett took off and was flying and shooting at Obi-Wan at the same time?
Yeah, that was cool.
That was freaking sick. So I would like to see that. We can get a little bit more into that in this next episode.
Anyway.
Okay, last thing. Bounty hunters that don't get enough love.
Bounty hunters that don't get enough love. Frick, that went on the notes, man.
I know, I'm sorry. Okay, here's one. We talked about Aura Singh a little bit. Okay. She gets love, but not probably as much as she could.
I mean, she should get full credit for basically raising Boba up to a point.
Between her and Bosk, Boba got a lot of training after Jango passed away.
Yeah.
And then one that was really cool was the Zabrak Suki. And then one that is a really cool character was Sarapass. Remember, he was that huge droid character, and you couldn't tell if he was like in armor or whatever. And then at the end, the head comes up, and it's that little guy in there.
Yeah, they described that in a certain point of view with that Forlom and Zuckuss arc. I think that's the species they were talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were talking about they all had power armor.
Yeah.
It sounded like I didn't look it up because I was driving, but
right.
I think that's the species they were describing.
Yeah, I kind of got that vibe too.
Basically, Dobby operating the
a Dark Trooper,
the Hulk Buster armor.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool whenever he there's that episode when you first meet Sarapass on Clone Wars, and Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Ahsoka were there, and they say something along the lines of, one Jedi is risky, but we for sure can't defeat two Jedis. Mm-hmm. And Ahsoka's like, hey, I'm here. And Sarapass says, "We don't count you knee high," and I was like, "Oh, sick burn!"
Freaking got him.
But yeah, he was really cool. I know that it was cool to reveal the little dude inside, but I was like, oh, that kind of took him off the list of deadliest bounty hunters. No way that little dude with the Xbox, VR headset's going to be Bosk.
You just see him in there in that fight, and he's like, I'm going into maximum overdrive. Freaking Plankton.
That's funny. That is like Plankton, bro. Yeah, I would say Boba and Jango, Bosk, Cad Bane, Dinjarin. But I would take... I like Dinjarin more than I like Cad Bane, as far as we've had a whole freaking show about him. But I don't like Dinjarin more than Boba or Jango or Bosk. I really like Bosk.
Oh, okay.
So there you have it.
Trying to keep it tight and short for editing reasons. We're going to do a quick turnaround.
Yep. But bounty hunters, very, very cool.
Yeah,
they are a very Star Wars thing. Mm-hmm. And the coolness of them, the individuality of their ships. Oh, that could have been a cool segment. Coolest bounty hunter ships. The Houndstooth is up there for me.
Yeah.
It's interesting because like Slave 1 has to be number 1
because
of my heart.
Probably the coolest bounty hunter ship on my radar right now is Chainbreaker's ship.
Oh,
made out of Rocher wood. That's freaking sick.
Does she count as a bounty hunter?
She hunts.
That was a very, very cool ship. The Houndstooth has always been probably my favorite outside of Slave 1 just because it's Boba's ship. But as far as like Houndstooth is a cool name and a nice pattern. But it's a really cool giant ship in the front with these cool little fins in the back. You get to see it in Clone Wars a little bit. And then also, oh man, there's so many people we've missed. Rako Hardeen was unsung from the Clone Wars. He was really cool. Mm-hmm. It kind of doesn't count as much because everything we see of Rako Hardeen is Obi-Wan is Rako Hardeen. Mm-hmm. But the helmet is a cool callback to the original Boba Fett helmet. Callback. He's got a cool little fur coat underneath. Yeah. The armor, stuff like that.
Are we counting Moralo Eval as a...
Is he a bounty hunter? Or is he just like kind of a... He's kind of a
mastermind, but he's still hired by Dooku. I guess it kind of counts.
Yeah, Moralo Eval is very cool.
He's kind of like a sneak up on you character because he doesn't get his hands dirty very much.
Yeah, but when he does...
he stood a pretty good chance against Obi-Wan there for a bit.
Yeah. He's got those real long arms.
Yeah, he was like apes together strong over all those freaking barriers and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, Moralo Eval's a very cool character. Shout out to both of those Ithorians with the cool hats. R.I.P. the one with the really cool hat. And they just make really cool characters. The Box was one of my favorite.
That was a cool
series.
Arc, dude. That was a cool freaking arc.
The undercover Rako Hardeen Obi-Wan sketch, but just seeing all them going against each other, it was like watching when Ezra was going through the academy, but like with people who could actually do it. So that was fun. Just seeing all these people. I did like seeing. It was interesting that Cad Bane was in there, but like Boba Fett. Or I don't think Bosk was in it.
Boba Fett was still a kid. Bosk was probably taking care of Boba Fett. They might have been in prison at that point.
Oh, you're right.
Got a problem with Boba. Got a problem with me.
Dude, it was so cool in that prison scene whenever that shock trooper tries to like basically tase Bosk and Bosk just goes...
Just pissed him off.
Yeah. And freaking mauls him. Dude.
Darth Maul? No, I'm just
kidding. That would probably kill you. Do you count Ventress as a bounty hunter?
Yeah, I guess so. From the Dark Disciple book. Yeah, she was a bounty hunter there.
She'd be very deadly, but I think she could be beaten.
I don't know, bro. She's obviously got the edge.
I think Boba could kill her. And I think Bosk
could
kill
Boba?
Her.
Because she definitely stuffed him in a trunk.
No. I'm talking about like at their peaks.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway.
Very cool.
Today.
One of the coolest things about Star Wars is the bounty hunters. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. Share this video. Like, comment, all those kinds of things. And comment who your favorite bounty hunter is and if we forgot yours. So, thank you guys for tuning in. And we'll see you on next week's review of The Mandalorian and next week's episode of the Chiss Ascendancy podcast. And we'll see you. May the Force be with you.
And remember... The only family you have here is me.
See you next week.